Okay, so I hope everything is okay. And this will be a video where I will correct your homework. So I'll show you the correct answer to all 19 reversals. And yeah, let's go. So the first thing what you want to do is you look at the size of the reversal. So here you see how big it is, right? It's like a big daily, weekly move. Let's go to weekly. Yeah, so it's a big weekly move. On daily, also see something big. On H4 also, right? So a real big one. Well, that means that the time frame of the reversal will be very big. Now, H4 is the default one, but you see, for example, here, you can see structure, but on daily you would see more structure. I mean, you would see the structure way cleaner, right? So here you can see structure low using objective structure. That's fine. You can use both objective and subjective for price behavior, but objective is the first one you see. So what do you see? Oh, first you see a fake break structure towards upside, right? So all the buyers are getting in here and all their stop losses are here. So the buyers got induced and stopped out. Perfect. If you go to H4, you can actually see the same thing and you can even explain this buy, right? The homework was this one, but you can also explain this one. It's the same thing. So you see price moving in a build-up way. So I'll just draw a build-up or a trend line. We have a break and retest, right? So break would be, I would say, somewhere here. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be accurate. So we broke, we retested. We also had a trend line retest almost, right? So the range retest right here. I mean, here, you got even more buyers in, price even broke more up, and all their stop losses would be right here, right? But the main move is this one. So it was daily structure. Daily was the correct time frame. Now let's go to the second one. So again, let's see the size of the move. Real big, right? Not as big as the last one, but you know, almost 75% of it. So pretty big. Well, that is telling us that it's going to be the same or a bit lower time frame. If we go to daily, let's try daily first. Daily is showing us pretty clear structure. So I would start with that. We have structural high, structural low, structural high, structural low, structural high, structural low, and then a high, right? So this is the move that we're breaking down right here, move number 2. Well, you see what's happening? Nothing's happening, right? We are just breaking towards upside and we don't have any break towards the downside. Okay, maybe there's something on H4. So this would be the main structure that I would be interested in. If you draw a trend line, for example, it would be really perfect. It would look something like this. So we do have a trend line breakout, but that trend line breakout, if we have a break structure here, it does not take out the main high, right? So for example, this, which would look like the first correct FBOS, doesn't induce, doesn't stop hunt, doesn't hunt the stops. I've seen, so the correct answer for this high is that there is no inducement, no price behavior, right? I've seen some solutions from you guys, some homeworks. Most common mistake is everyone marking this fake break structure, right? So they're saying price made a fake break here, or some special individuals even did this. But of course, this is completely irrelevant. If, for example, we mark this one as a fake break structure, it would be too irrelevant also, right? We see the clear structure, right? The best way is to zoom out here. Would you see this as structural point? I wouldn't, right? So this fake break structure is too small. It's inside a buildup. People are still buying, right? There is no reason for people to just sell when they see this. So you have to imagine that people are seeing this right now, right? They would be interested more in buys than sells, and this break of structure doesn't even cross their mind. So yeah, there was one more solution that I've seen, and that is this one. So people marking this one as a fake break of structure and this as the stop hunt, right? Which is almost correct, but not at all. So this was a trap. Let's say this is a smart money trap. Of course, it does give some reaction towards downside, but the problem is we have some strict rules that we don't break, and we said we don't use internal structure for a fake breaker structure. In this case, it is internal, but even internal of internal, right? So this is your range. Price doesn't break it, meaning we're just sweeping some random low. So I would see this as a sweep, as a liquidity sweep, of course. There would be a buy there, but it is not inducing sellers. And again, looking at the whole move, nobody's really seeing sells, right? So the only reason why price sold here is it did slow down a bit, right? And then you had new stop hunt right here. So again, mitigation possible. Let's go to the next one. Oh, what's this? So the next reversal was here, which most of you got correct. So now we don't look at levels. Again, you should see the size of the move, right? Nothing. I mean, it was pretty big. It was a continuation of this one. So it did sweep something from the left. We don't care about it right now. We had one small structure right here. So outmark highs and lows. Again, start with objective structure. If it's not too objective, for example, if you can see there's big structure and then this one being objective structure, but it's too small, then of course it loses its relevance. But here you see that the structure is, similar size everywhere. Like it's really small structure, meaning this small structure is relevant, right? You have to compare this one to the whole price action. So this high, low, high. So we had a first fake break of structure towards upside here. Of course, it's not the best one because it's too small. I mean, it's not too small, it's just small. Then if that's the case, you would want some additional confluence with that. So this is the last three structures. And with the last three structures, if you connect them, you can make a perfect trend line. So this will be the trend line that we're breaking. Okay. So we have a breakout towards upside, F-boss, and also a stop hunt towards the downside. It even stopped twice, but the reversal is the same, right? So that would explain this buy. It's again an H4 price behavior. And if someone looked closely, they would see this mini F-boss and this little inducement, right? This little stop out. So F-boss inducement as price delivery. Yeah. So again, the perfect price delivery would be price sweeping this and exploding, but because it doesn't sweep this, it has to create more liquidity. And you see, we have the same thing happening. And for example, after this, possible mitigation. But don't care about the trades for now. So I'll play the price. We have 3 out of 19 so far. I hope it won't be too long. So again, we are looking for a whole move towards downside. If we look at the whole size of the price action of the leg, okay, it will take some time. You will see that the move was way bigger than this move, for example, and this move, right? It's way bigger, meaning we need a lot of liquidity to fund this move, meaning this high should be something significant, which it really wasn't, right? This would be the main structure on weekly, monthly. So it should be price behavior, but we also don't have any price behavior that's funding the move. So in that case, it's the level from the left. So for this move, there is no price behavior that is funding this move, this big move. But if you look close enough, there was price behavior that was enough for an entry. So I'll show that to you now. So again, this is just good for an entry, but in live market, it would be really hard to expect just based on this information, how that price will go that far towards the downside. But in the next call, I'll show you how it was possible with all the confluences. So here you see a really nice fake breaker structure, even though it's a wick, it was H1, you'll see the price closely. So fake breaker structure towards downside, right? So structure here, and this would be their, oh, what's happening? Oh yeah, so this would be their stop hunts. Right, so let's go to H4 again. Yeah, here. So fake break towards downside, stops them, and ideally you should have some nice level that lines up with this one, which you had. Okay, so I'll just leave it here for the next video. In this move there was nothing, it's just continuations. We'll get over them in the next call, probably. So next buy we had was really beautiful here. Again, it's up twice, so it's not the best. And the first thing I see is some structure. So high, low, high, low, low, high, low, high, low, high, right? So first bigger structure we would have is this one. For some people, this is a really small structure. So you see some people mark the structure like this, which is completely fine. If this happens, you should have another confluence. And in this case, it would be a trend line breakout, a trend line that lines up with the with the fake breaker structure, right? So we have an F boss and a breakout here, which so everyone is buying here. Everyone's buying here. Stops are right here, funding the next big move. Oh yeah, I forgot. You should again look at the size of the move first. So it was a really big move. And H4 is an ideal time frame. Next one we had was a tricky one here. So let's see what price did. Some people, I mean, I'll show you the wrong solutions first, and I'll show you the right one. Some people try to convince me that this was the fake breaker structure, right? That makes this high a significant high. And now, if you zoom out, again, if you zoom out, and this is the first thing that a retailer sees, do you think they are buying? I mean, do you think they are selling? They're induced to sell, they're enticed to sell. No, right? The main structure that I would be interested in would be this one, and then later on it would move to this high and this low, this high and this low, right? Just major highs and lows. So no, meaning this low right here, this fake breaker structure here was completely irrelevant. It's too small, it's inside another structure, right? And a fake breaker structure should be this external one, it's this big one. So again, what caused it was the size of the moves around it, right? But in normal case, if the structures were not that big, then of course this would be a really nice price behavior. So we are trying to explain this move. Well, clearly price doesn't do any fake breaker structure towards downside, meaning there is no price behavior for this sell. Okay, during this mentorship, I'll give you a lot of examples. I mean, a lot of moves that are like this. So you will learn to not make up things, right? For example, if you just because the price sold doesn't mean that you could have caught it, doesn't mean that we had confluences to catch it or to explain it even. So what happened here? Again, you have a very nice fake breaker structure towards upside. And a stop hunt right below. And again, if this doesn't seem like enough, you can try to look for more confluences. And bam, we have a trendline breakout, right? A break and retest, price bounces up, everyone's buying, everyone's happy, everyone stopped out, bam, go. So that's another move explained. Then there was the trickiest one, which is this one. And again, first you should start with the size of the move. So I'll just play it out. Well, it's a huge move, right? It's a really huge move. So it's either going to be H4 or daily. You never look at M15 or H1 first and try to look at something here, right? You want to find something that corresponds with the size of the move. So again, most of you try to convince me of something being inside here, some breakup, momentum breakout here. That's fine, but that's not what's really funding the move. What's funding the move is fake breaker structure, maybe some build up. You can go to daily to have it clearer, right? So some build up also. A fake breaker structure towards downside, and a stop hunt towards the upside, right? So this was the price behavior that funded this whole move, right? All the sellers here were converted into stops, into buy orders right here to fund this bigger move, right? So you can imagine this whole sell move, there are buy orders like this spread out. Whole sell move, there are buy orders like this spread out they are now concentrated above this. So whoever created this buy move has all their sell orders inside here. But yeah, very nice. So that's the tricky one that many of you got wrong. Let's go to another tricky one. This looks very tricky. So 1 hour. Oh yeah, okay. So this was again another huge move on H4 daily. So the price behavior should be of that size. Wrong solution. Some of you try to, again, convince me that this was the fake breaker structure towards the upside, right? Or even this one, this breaker structure. So let's talk about this one first. Well, the structure is really small, right? It would maybe serve as a supportive structure, but it's not enough on its own. It's really small, one candle, fake breaker structure. If it's sold right away, maybe, but not like this. This one also. This one looked clean, really. Look, this was the low, the high, lower low. We broke up, right? And again, if it's sold the low right away, it would be amazing. Or even let's say from here, it would be amazing. But the longer we build up, the less relevant the structures become, right? Look at that. It just becomes part of the build-up. The structure itself fades. So I would just see this as one big build-up. Oh, there was one more wrong solution, and that was someone marking a fake boss here, which is completely wrong. Again, this boss doesn't really tell people to buy, right? So this is the build-up. We had a bearish flag, and we didn't have a complete break and retest towards downside, but here we had a break and retest with the lows, with the support and resistance, inducing even more sellers. So just this pattern itself, just this breakout is inducing people to sell, and then the break and retest finishes them off, right? So even more people try to sell here, they break out, sell more. And now all the sell orders are absorbed inside this buy. So it's not price behavior in the sense of inducing early buyers before the big buy, but it's just pro trend inducement. So we're inducing sellers and then even more sellers just to fund our big buy. This would be the correct solution. Now, this one was pretty easy. Okay, first things first, it is a big move towards downside. But second thing is that we had news here, right? If you paid attention in the last Zoom, I told you if there are news, prices accelerated, whatever happens on lower time frame is equivalent to higher time frame. So I'll go to H1, see the news here. You can even go to M15. On M15, I guess you would see some structure here, not much, but yeah, see, you see some structure here. So I would definitely see this as one big structure towards the downside. But if you go to H1, we barely see it, right? But again, don't forget, this is news. So this price action that you're seeing right here, you can imagine that this is H1. It's that simple, H1 or H4. So we had a fake breaker structure towards the downside. Not bad. FOS. And we even broke down one more time here. And in the end, we stopped them all out, right? News induced down, news started with a move down, induced even more sellers and up, stopped out the sellers. So all the stop losses are right here. And now all the sell orders are absorbed inside this wick. And that's how this huge move happened. Okay, let's go. Yeah, there was nothing happening here. Another move was this one. So I'll show you right away. And again, this seems like news to me. So here, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's just natural momentum, but you can treat momentum the same way. If it's too fast, it would mean that whatever is happening here is equivalent to higher time frame price action too. But we use news, so it's more objective, right? So we don't have to guess. But here you see there's this nice trend line, 1012, right? It respects it pretty nicely. We have a trend line breakout here. We have a fake breaker structure down. And here we keep breaking down also. So this is not a breaker structure, but it's just breaking down, right? So we're inducing even more sellers. There is some sort of break and retest. It doesn't retest completely, but you get a point. So again, one guy selling here, one guy selling on breakout, one guy selling here. We keep breaking down, right? We have 3 breaks down. So all the sell orders are now accumulated here, right? All the stops. So all the buy side liquidity, which explains this beautiful move. Then we had this one, which is pretty big, I think. Oh, this is the one that we broke down during the live call. So I'll just break it down quickly. But simply, it was just a break structure. It wasn't really pleasant because it was consolidating, but I would see this as the first break structure. If you zoom in, you see right here. If you want to add something more, or if it's too small for you, you can even use this one. So you have two F bosses. And for me, I would see some sort of build-up or trend line here that breaks out towards upside. So the stop hunt is again here. I think everyone got this one correctly. Now let's go to the next move. This one, I see how much everyone pays attention with this one. So some try to convince me that the sell happened here, the F boss happened here. But if that was the case, it would be really weird to trade this, right? Like the inducement would have to happen here for us to sell down, which didn't happen. And also you see how small the structure is, right? So here, look at this. Some also just mark this as a fake breaker structure, which is not entirely wrong, but that would break the rules, because if you use this as subjective structure, then we have high, low, and then we are using internal breaks, right? Which is not ideal. So the best solution here was to first analyze the structure. Again, this would be objective low, but without this, we are consolidating here. The longer we consolidate, the less relevant this becomes. So first thing you see is a build up. So we're building up towards the downside. We are breaking out towards the upside, creating first structure low, right? So I'll use this low right here. Then we went down from here, creating a structural high. And now the breakout structure makes sense, but you have to be able to explain why you would use internal structure in this case. Because if you live trade here and you cannot explain this, then you are probably gonna just trade every single internal fake breaker structure, and that would be catastrophic. So you need clear rules, clear scenarios when you would do it like this. Another solution that I might see here would be a trendline breakout, and together with a trendline breakout, we have an internal F-boss. If you saw this one, congrats, you can do it like that, right? And also explain the move like that. But if not, this is the optimal solution. So the stop losses are here, the stop hunt is here, and here, funding this huge sell move. It was huge. Okay, how many moves did we do so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, 5 more. So let's see. Here, some people mark this as a fake breaker structure towards upside, which would make sense right now, right? If we took out this low right now, it would be nice. Although this low seems small and it's even internal. Oh, yeah, it's internal. So it's not valid at all. Okay, it's not valid at all. Then price consolidates. Even if this was an external high, the consolidation would completely cancel it out, right? But here, we are reacting to some trap. You can imagine that. And we have an internal. So we said we can use internal FBOS if the whole range, the whole price action that we are trading is also internal. So you can imagine this is the external range right now, and this is the internal price action that we are trading right now. So it's fine, right? We had an FBOS here. And the inducement would be here. That would make this low more relevant. And again, this low didn't break any big structure towards the upside. So if we swap it right away, it wouldn't be a great move, right? But because we did this, we create relevant liquidity that lines up with our major low. And this is how this move was funded. Okay, next one was really easy. Just a small pullback move. So here you see, I already drew it out, but it was an F-boss. Let's see if there's any trend line. Okay, let's see again. Not that clear. Could be used, right? So fake breaker structure down, trend line breakout, stop hunt. So active liquidity, stopped out. All the cells are inside here. And this is how this move was funded. Then we had something really nice again. We had some level from the left that lined up with that. But now we don't care about that. And we had just structure inducement. So no trend lines, nothing, just this, but it's enough. Really, really clean. So this will be the fake breaker structure towards the upside. Okay, so these two very easy, and I think we're nearing the end. So let me play the price action out first. Oh, last three moves. Okay. Okay. So as you can see, we are making a huge weekly move towards downside, right? This move is triple the size of this one, for example, or this one, right? It's double, triple the size. Look how big it is in the end. It's insane. So obviously, this move was not funded by something that is the same size as these, right? As even this one. Like you can see, this cell was, look how big the cell was. 1, 2, 3, more than 3 times bigger. So even price behavior of this size is not enough to fund this move, right? And some people here try to mark this as a fake breaker structure and this as the inducement, which in theory is correct, right? But obviously, this is not what's funding the whole move. If we have, look at the move again, right? This is daily, this is weekly, this is the weekly move. So it's really bigger than any move that we have broken down so far. Then obviously, logically thinking, the price behavior has to be even higher than H4. It should be daily, right? Or something between daily and weekly. And here, if you look closely, you see very nice fake breaker structure down, right? Even mitigation, FEG fill, another break towards downside. A really nice trend line, right? That is breaking, right? Almost a break and retest. And all the liquidity is now laying right above here. So this is the actual price behavior that is responsible for this big weekly move. Let's see H4, and there's nothing on H4. Okay, so this is how this big move was funded. That's one. Now let's get to this one, which is the same thing almost. So we had a trend line, right? A trend line breakout. And we also have structural breakout right here. So Airbus, trend line breakout right here, and stop hunt right here. So this is how we funded this small cell. And again, this is just a little cell compared to the whole price action, compared to the whole big move, right? So here, H1, H4 price behavior is enough to fund this shorter move. And short term, it's 17 days, but it's still really small. Then you can see the same thing here. We funded a buy that is the same size as the sell. So price behavior will be somewhere on H4. And you can see right here, you have a fake breaker structure up and inducement down. So this is how this might happen. And now you see you can partially explain most of the moves on higher time frame since the end of 2023. Oh no, beginning of 2023, right? All these moves. You can even explain this year's moves. But 2024 was textbook. So I hope you liked it. And yeah, I liked recording it too.